Charlie Kirk leaves a teacher absolutely stunned after she tries, attempts, and fails to push a pro-left-wing agenda on the masses. Guys, this is going to be a good one. I think you're going to enjoy it. This teacher comes up ready to challenge Charlie Kirk on what he's saying about teachers in the education system, and he puts it right to bed really quick, guys. So it's going to be good, and you're going to enjoy it, and we're going to get right into it. But first, everybody, very important, please make sure you like our video, share it around, and yes, if you are new, subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel, so that way we can keep bringing you guys these great clips and these Charlie Kirk ownage compilations, among other things. So thank you so much, and we appreciate it. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. You guys are awesome. As always, guys, this is the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel, and I'm your host, Arian. Let's get into it.
Hi, so I just wanted to know what your take was on, you said with education to fire the bad teachers. What's your definition of bad teachers?
Great question. So how many people here think you've had at least one teacher that deserves to be fired? Everyone raised their hand, always. So the question is, how do you find them, right? So I got this question asked a lot. Here's the interesting thing. So when President Obama was running for president in 2008, one of his big things, he said it over 40 times, was that we need to have a system that rewards good teachers and fires bad ones. But the question is always, how do you find the bad ones? So is it test scores? Probably not. Is it, peer evaluation? The best metric is you have teachers grade teachers and you have parental input. Here's the thing. The really, really bad teachers. Those have got to go. I had teachers earning $150,000 a year, barely showing up for class, teaching gym, doing nothing, being completely lazy. They're a drain on the school budget. They're a drain on the local community, and they should be fired instantaneously.
Kind of reminds me of when I had a teacher in high school who taught us health, and she was, let's just say, she was a bigger person. All right, I want to be charitable here. Just a little confusing. And yeah, she was making well over $100,000 a year. I'm sure of it.
Problem is, under current teacher tenure laws in certain states, in most states, they are protected by contracts designed by teacher unions that make it nearly impossible to fire bad teachers. If they're not productive, they don't put time in. So I would support reform and a system that allows really good teachers. Here's the thing. Some teachers, this might be a surprise to some of my liberal counterparts. So I had public school teachers that changed my life, that did unbelievable amount of work. They got in at 6 a.m. every day. They worked their tail off. Then I had teachers that would take half the year off. They just didn't care. They were bratty. They thought it was horrible. And yet the one that didn't put in as much effort was earning more than the person that was just there. That is not the way that we should reward, I believe, teachers in this country. Teachers are modern day heroes. I'm very, very pro-teacher, very anti-teacher union. So I think that's the big distinction. So.
What about?
Speaking of well-respected educators, how about we discuss the esteemed Dr. Jill Biden? I'm just kidding. The only reason I bring up her name is because she's probably the one pulling the ropes behind Joe Biden, frankly, because it's not going well for him. Speaking of what's not going well for him, his economy sucks, all right, guys? And that is why I have decided to partner with Goldco. And I recommend you do the same. Why do it, you might ask? Real simple, guys. As the value of the US dollar goes down, the value of gold has historically gone up, okay? What other reason could you need? So check it out today, guys. You can go to rtmgold.com, all right? Go to the link in the description or type it in your web browser, all right? You can also get a free gold kit to help you make this giant decision, guys. What's more, you can roll over your IRA and 401k penalty and tax-free. You heard that right, penalty and tax-free. All right, guys, head on over to rtmgold.com. You can click the link in the description or type in your web browser.
Professors.
Professors?
Yeah, like college, at the college
level. I believe this similar thing. I think that we currently have a system that rewards professors that want to write their book and sell it back to their class. I think that's, it's a fair point.
This is totally true, guys. I mean, looking at my own education and college experience, I had a professor who was earning, I think I looked up her salary once because I went to a public university, Arizona State University, and it was all public. She was making close to $200,000 a year and literally made us buy her textbooks, okay? Making a pretty penny off of that. But she wasn't even the worst offender, all right? There were professors who made anywhere from $100K to $300K a year, and they wouldn't even be at class. They had a TA just teaching the whole thing, which leads me to question, are you even a professor at that point, or just a glorified researcher who goes around and sticks his face sometimes to look pretty? I don't know. I don't get it personally. It just doesn't make sense to me. True story. One of my best professors in university, this was a guy who was very smart, very well-rounded, cared about the success of his students. He was always around, pretty much never missed class. I looked up his salary once and couldn't believe how low it was, all right? It was anywhere from 50 to 60K a year. Meanwhile, you have people making 300,000 and they don't even show up or take care of their students. How is that fair or just? I don't think it is personally.
It also rewards professors that do most studying and not actually engaging with their current class. Here's the problem is that most college freshmen are taught by TAs, teachers' assistants. So they're getting something, they're paying for something they're not even getting. I think measuring value in a professor should be different than that of a teacher, but here's the big difference is that public school teachers in K through 12 education have to be held to a different standard than professors. It just has to be. There's more K through 12 teachers than there are professors, a lot more, almost 10-to-1 ratio.
Okay, but with the whole point on the TAs, they're usually doctoral students.
Yes.
That are turning into professors. So
what she's trying to say is that this whole thing is a multi-level marketing scheme. All right. Once you get in the system, you can't get out, and you can't make money unless you're making money in that same system. I think that's what she's saying. Maybe that wasn't what she intended to say, but it sure sounds like it.
Why is that how are the TAs supposed to?
Because when you start to have class sizes that are 500 people and plus, when you have TAs that are not yet masters on the subject that you're paying a pretty penny on, that deserves question. Because you are going to college to learn from subject matter experts in an environment where you can dive deep into that particular topic, so on and so forth. So if I'm paying, or I'm being forced to pay $800 for this sociology class or human studies class, and I'm getting taught by a TA with 800 people in a lecture hall this big, that there's something I think wrong with that. I think because you're paying a pretty penny for something that is then very, I would say, inadequate.
A quick little thing I wanted to touch on earlier. You guys ever heard of rubber rooms? If not, you should totally look it up, all right? But basically, this is an idea that an educator, often a teacher, will get sent to a room to do nothing, all while enjoying the full salary, benefits, and whatsoever provided for by the taxpayer. It's not a joke, guys. It's a real thing. We've seen real examples of it in New York and Los Angeles, and it's seldom discussed. But there is a documentary on it that you can check out. I won't promote it or anything, but you can go look into that if you're so interested, because it's fascinating, guys. Thanks to teachers unions in the United States of America, we literally have educators showing up and doing absolutely nothing and collecting a full paycheck for it. Sometimes they do it for years. Not a joke. And don't get me started on some of the alleged sexual assault cases we've seen and how these teachers still miraculously don't get fired, or they do get fired, but it takes a good few years and all that salary to go along with that. It's insane. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed the video. As always, guys, comment below. Let us know what you liked, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future. And also, just for fun, you tell us, what do you think the political persuasion is of that teacher who was asking Charlie the question? I don't know. I might have speculated on that a little bit too much, but I want to hear what you guys think. So let us know. With all that being said, thank you guys so much, and God bless.